70 sons of Gideon, killed on a single stone, by their brother. One survived, the youngest, by hiding. He climbed a mountain and told a story that has never stopped being true. Then a father opened his mouth and spoke words he could never take back. Day 65. The stone and the vow. Judges 9:12. The spiral doesn't stop, it drops. Gideon is dead. The land had rest for 40 years under him. Now his 70 sons are jockeying for position, and the son nobody expected, from the concubine in Shechem, has a plan. Abimelech goes to his mother's brothers in Shechem. He makes his case to them and to the whole clan of his mother's family. Which is better for you? To have all 70 of Gideon's sons rule over you, or just one man? Remember, I am your flesh and blood. The men of Shechem are persuaded. They give him 70 silver shekels from the temple of Baal-berith. With it, Abimelech hires reckless scoundrels. The text's words not editorial, and they follow him. He goes to his father's home at Ophrah. He kills 70 of his brothers, Gideon's sons, on a single stone. 70 men, one stone. His own brothers. Only the youngest escapes. Jotham hides. The men of Shechem and Beth Millo crown Abimelech king beside the great tree at the pillar in Shechem. Then Jotham appears. He stands on top of Mount Gerizim, the mountain of blessing where the covenant was read, and shouts down to them. They listen, and he tells them a parable. The trees went to anoint a king over themselves. They asked the olive tree first. The olive tree said, "Should I give up my oil, by which gods and humans are honored, to hold sway over the trees?" No. They asked the fig tree. The fig tree said, "Should I give up my fruit, so good and sweet, and to hold sway over the trees?" No. They asked the vine. The vine said, "Should I give up my wine, which cheers both gods and humans, to hold sway over the trees?" No. Finally, all the trees said to the thorn bush, "Come and be our king." The thorn bush said, "If you really want to anoint me king over you, come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, let fire come out of the thorn bush and consume the cedars of Lebanon." Jotham lets the parable land. Then he speaks plainly. If you have acted honorably toward Gideon's family, if this is what he deserves, then rejoice in Abimelech and let him rejoice in you. But if not, let fire come out of Abimelech and consume the citizens of Shechem and Beth Millo, and let fire come out of them and consume Abimelech. Then Jotham runs. He flees to Beer and lives there, out of reach of his brother. Abimelech rules Israel for 3 years. Then God sends an evil spirit between Abimelech and the citizens of Shechem. They turn on each other. Ambushes on the hilltops, robbery. The relationship between the king and the city that crowned him rots from within. A man named Gaal, son of Ebed, moves into Shechem and stirs the citizens against Abimelech. Abimelech attacks. The people of the tower of Shechem take refuge in the stronghold of the temple of El-Berith. Abimelech cuts branches and puts them against the stronghold. He sets it on fire. About 1,000 men and women die inside. Then he moves to Thebez. He besieges it. The people flee into a strong tower. He approaches the tower door to set it on fire. A woman drops an upper millstone on his head. It cracks his skull. Abimelech calls quickly to his armor-bearer, "Draw your sword and run me through so that they can't say, 'A woman killed him.'" His armor-bearer runs him through. He dies, a woman with a millstone. The man who killed 70 brothers on a stone dies from a stone dropped by a woman. Thus God repaid the wickedness that Abimelech had done to his father by murdering his 70 brothers. God also made the people of Shechem pay for their wickedness. The curse of Jotham came to pass. Fire from Abimelech consuming Shechem. Fire from Shechem consuming Abimelech, the thorn bush told them. They didn't listen. 2 judges follow. Quiet years, stabilizing years. But the cycle hasn't stopped. 2 judges follow Abimelech. Brief, quiet, stabilizing. Tola, son of Puah, judges Israel for 23 years. He dies and is buried in Shamir. Jair of Gilead judges Israel for 22 years. He has 30 sons who ride 30 donkeys and control 30 towns. He dies and is buried in Kamon. 45 years of relative peace between the thorn bush and what comes next. Then Israel does evil again, this time worse than before. They add the gods of Aram, Sidon, Moab, the Ammonites, and the Philistines to their collection. They abandon God entirely, serve Baals and Ashtoreths. God's anger burns. He sells them to the Philistines and the Ammonites. 18 years of oppression east of the Jordan. Then it spreads west. Israel is seriously distressed. They cry out. God's response this time is unlike anything he has said before. You chose these gods. Let them save you. The cycle has been running long enough that God names the pattern back to them. He has saved them from 7 different oppressors, 7 times, and they have returned to idols every time. Let the gods you chose save you. Israel puts away their foreign gods. They serve the Lord. And the text says something remarkable. His soul could bear Israel's misery no longer. He cannot hold out. He sees them suffering, and he moves. Not because they deserve it, because he loves them and cannot watch them destroyed. A deliverer is needed, but the man available has a complicated past. Jephthah the Gileadite is a mighty warrior. His father is Gilead. His mother is a prostitute. Gilead's wife also bears him sons. When they grow up, they drive Jephthah away. You are not going to get any inheritance in our family, they tell him, because you are the son of another woman. Jephthah flees to the land of Tob. Worthless men gather around him and follow him on raids. When the Ammonites make war on Israel, the elders of Gilead go to Tob. They come to the man they drove out. Come and be our commander so we can fight the Ammonites. Jephthah looks at them steadily. Didn't you hate me and drive me from my father's house? Why do you come to me now when you're in trouble? They need him. They know it. He knows it. He negotiates. If you take me back to fight the Ammonites and the Lord gives them to me, will I really be your head? Yes, they say. The Lord is our witness. Jephthah goes back to Gilead. The people make him head and commander. He tries diplomacy first. Sends messengers to the king of Ammon asking why he is attacking. The king says the land was taken from us when Israel came up from Egypt. Give it back peacefully. Jephthah sends back a detailed, historically accurate response covering 300 years of territorial history. Israel did not take Ammonite land. The Lord, the God of Israel, drove out the Amorites. What the Lord gives you, you keep. Will you not take what Chemosh your God gives you? Whatever the Lord our God has given us, we will possess. The king of Ammon pays no attention. The Spirit of the Lord comes on Jephthah. He advances against the Ammonites, and then he makes a vow. If you give the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me when I return in triumph from the Ammonites will be the Lord's, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering. Whatever comes out of the door. He is thinking of an animal. He must be thinking of an animal. A goat? A sheep? Something that would wander out of the house when he returns. God gives the Ammonites into his hands. 20 towns. A tremendous defeat. Jephthah returns to Mizpah. And then, the door opens. His daughter comes out of the door to meet him, dancing, with tambourines, his only child. When he sees her, he tears his clothes. Oh no, my daughter, you have brought me down and I am devastated. I have made a vow to the Lord that I cannot break. She does not beg. She does not argue. She asks for 2 months in the hills with her friends to weep because she will never marry. You have given your word to the Lord. Do to me just as you promised, now that the Lord has avenged you of your enemies. He gives her the 2 months. She goes into the hills. She weeps her unlived life with her friends. Then she returns. And Jephthah does what he said he would do. From this, a custom arose in Israel. Young women going out for 4 days each year to commemorate the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite. She has no name in the text. She has a commemoration. 4 days every year. Her unlived life honored by the daughters of Israel who came after her. Jephthah judges Israel for 6 years. He dies and is buried in a town in Gilead. After him come Ibzan, Elon, and Abdon. 3 more judges, quiet years, donkeys and sons and daughters, and burials. Then the Spirit of the Lord stirs a child in a barren woman's womb. And the most complicated judge in all of judges is about to be born. 70 brothers on a stone, a millstone from a tower, a vow spoken too fast and honored too literally. The spiral keeps dropping, and the worst is still coming. Tomorrow, Samson, the strongest man who ever lived, the worst decision-maker in Scripture. 4 chapters of gifting, wasted. 4 chapters of what happens when you know exactly what God set you apart for, and spend your whole life doing everything else. See you then.